Imagine this. Your party's lined up for the next boss, session 25 of your campaign. Players are level 11 and making the journey made for the session to get to the boss fight. Your ideas are mowed through as the party is already familiar to everything you've thrown at them. Boss after boss, puzzle after puzzle, campaign after campaign. It just doesn't change. You don't know what else to do. You have an idea, but you don't have the elements to make it come to life. You just make the boss bigger and badder. Add more health, make it a dragon. All the tools in your arsenal are already used up. You have nowhere else to go and you admit it. You have hit a wall with your imagination that you never thought was possible, and you don't know what to do about it. Look, even right here, all that hard work to take down the boss, all that quick intellect to collaborate, and then boom, the dragon's already back up. He's about to destroy your party because you just want your party to try and have a challenge. And then the most stupidest thing happens as a Viking just comes through and destroys it with one punch. Welcome to the community of Dungeons & Dragons from a Dungeon Master point of view. Being a Dungeon Master is such a unique experience for everyone. More often than not, campaign members, and especially new introducers to Dungeons & Dragons, are too frightened by the claim daunting task of being a Dungeon Master. Yes, the leader is a little scary by the thought of creativity. You have to come up with campaigns, bosses, puzzles, and all or a lot on a single plate. Thousands of people have had the same moment, but the community has prevented this block from happening. Rather than taking it as a personal standpoint, they address it head on and use strategic ideas to get around. This is Chris Perkins. This is a community interviewer who's trying to interview him on ways to improve your game.
Perfect. The DM is also a director. But what I mean by director, as opposed to storyteller, is a director needs to keep the story moving and know when things are getting bogged down and then kind of reorient the invisible camera. So my tip is let your players help steer the adventure, but when the fun is gone, move on.
So, Chris Perkins highlights the idea that it is great to adventure, but it's important to know when the mood has changed and keeping your party members intrigued by continuing on with the story. Then, what happens when you don't know how to switch the story around to get to the designated area since your party went so far off track from plan? That is where tip number 2 comes in. Improv, baby.
So after you've worked on and knocked out your main story thread and through line, I would recommend taking a little time to loosely develop some side plots that may lead back to the main story, possibly. Here's an example. Your main plot involves being hired to investigate a local lodge's strange activities, leading the party to a shoreside wreck site where the lodge turns out to be a cult plotting a dark ritual. Now, to the side of the story, you could develop a brief element of a drunken fisherman who's trying to prove he's not crazy for seeing weird things at night by the ocean. Now, these are all threads you don't need to fully flesh out, and they may never even come to fruition. But even just having them at the ready will help you tie them in should the party deviate too far from the main story.
Now, with these 2 tips, it gives us a start for a DM to get better campaigns overall, and even basic problems like this situation, where a guy is having a struggle with getting the party on the right track, can help him. Using a little improv to help out the situation and have a less concrete plan with potential ideas to use in case of any random situation can solve his issue. Now, don't be too hasty with implementing every single idea you come by, as you'll tire yourself out before you even get through 3 sessions. It does take a little extra effort, but it is only the start. Once you get into the groove of things and have a set strategy out, it passes like a breeze. Imagination doesn't stop with your head. It thrives on a system that needs updating before it hits its maximum threshold. Just never forget, there are people out there in the community, whether on subreddit, YouTube, Reels, TikTok, and even Discord, who have answers to the problems you are enduring. It's only a web search or an ask away, so don't be afraid to be a Dungeon Master, and if you are one, use the resources I provide and your own ability to research to make your campaign more one of a kind. Keep your party on their toes. Never have an idea repeat again. Thanks again, and never stop your imagination.